Welcome to the Church Answers podcast. I asked the question in a previous podcast to this one, can pastors really enjoy a vacation? Can pastors really relax at a vacation? And I gave some very real and poignant reasons why many of them cannot. I would encourage you to go back and listen to that podcast that preceded this one. This one is going to be a bit more positive. We're going to talk of 4 ways a pastor can have a real vacation. And I hope that not only you pastors are listening to this, but you're letting someone on your staff or your elder board or your deacon body or somebody like that has your back. And we'll talk more about that person that has your back. I hope that you are going to share this with them, or maybe they're listening or watching it now, so they can help you with this as well. Thank you as always to Belay Solutions, incredible organization that provides you those type of team members that can do your assistant work, that can do your bookkeeping, that can do your website. The list goes on and on. They're the organization that does all the work. They take so much off of the leader, pastors and others. They do things that the leader really does not need to be doing. And it is one of the most cost-efficient ways to have that type of assistant on your staff. They're virtual, but they are really a part of the team, so it really works. I've told you many times, the Church Answers has been using them as long as there's been a Church Answers, and even before Belay was called Belay. They were called something else. So we are delighted to have a partnership with them, and we're delighted that they're the sponsor. They continue to make available the download, 25 tasks a pastor can delegate to an assistant. That download is in the show notes, or you can visit belaysolutions.com/Thom Rainer to get that download. Okay, how can a pastor have a real vacation? Listen carefully, because number 1 is truly number 1. Get a trusted person to care for the church and your leadership in your absence. Let me say that one more time. Get a trusted person in your absence to care for the church and to care for you in their absence. And what I mean is, many times pastors are hesitant to go on vacation, or if they do, they don't enjoy them because they're worrying so much about what is taking place back at the church. If you have that person that you trust implicitly, explicitly, and thoroughly, that person that is going to look after the church while you're gone and is going to look after you while you're gone, you will go knowing that everything is going to be okay. Is that person possible to find? Absolutely. That person is easy to find. Someone that you trust, someone that may not even think that they're good pastorally. You just say, let's say you have a church of 75 and you're the only staff person. Maybe there's a part-time worship leader, but there's an elder in your church that would die for you, literally and figuratively. And you tell that elder, look, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to tell them that you're the elder in charge. And if anything comes up, you handle it. If any funeral needs come up, you do it, or you help someone to find a way to do it. Just imagine how much more relaxed your vacation would be if you had that trusted person. It could be another staff member. If you're in a larger church, that's definitely a possibility. But get a trusted person to be the pastor in your stead, while you are on vacation. They're to take care of all the emergency needs. They're to take care of the funerals. They're to take care of any type of bickering or division that may occur. They are there to look after the church, and in doing so, they look after you. Number 1, get a trusted person. Number 2, trust God. That sounds so obvious. But I want to ask you this. Have you really prayed when you go on a vacation for God to handle everything, and for God to give you rest, and for God to protect your church? Have you ever done that? Have you talked to him about this vacation, and that you're asking him to be in charge, as well as that person you left there in the place of ministry leadership? Pray for it. Trust God. Make the vacation a part of your prayer life, and make certain that it is a part of your prayer life while you're on vacation as well. Number 3, this is not necessarily an action item. It's just a reminder. Whatever happens on vacation is a memory maker for your family. Whatever happened at the church while you're on vacation is soon forgotten unless you make it a problem. Let me say that again. Whatever happens on vacation for your family is a memory maker. Whatever happens at the church while you're on vacation is soon forgotten unless you make it a bad memory. I mentioned in previous times that there are too many pastors who feel like they must rush back to the church for every funeral, for every sickness, for every accident. I know it sounds a bit callous on my part, but let me just tell you, pastors, you are not that important. The church can go on without you. So make certain that you are thinking about, how is this going to look to my family 10 years from now, 5 years from now? How will my children, once they are grown, if that is the case of being young now, what are they going to remember? They're either going to remember great vacations where they had their parents' attention, or they're going to remember great vacations that ended perhaps with them crying because they had to come home again. Finally, have an agreement with the church about your vacation. Let them know, hey folks, while I'm gone, such and such is going to be here in my stead. This person will be taking care of the emergencies. This person will be taking care of other items that you need. Make it an implicit, if not an explicit, agreement with your church that you are going to take a vacation. And here are the terms of the vacation, not in a demanding way, not in a way that is haughty or harsh, but in a way that you let them know what is going to take place ahead of time. Let them be reminded of why this vacation is important for you and your family. These 4 things, leaders, pastors, and others, these 4 things can help you to have a real vacation instead of a vacation where you're more stressed than if you were back at the church as well. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Church Answers podcast. Thank you, as always, to Belay for being a part of this podcast. Don't forget their download, 25 tasks a pastor can delegate to an assistant. If you haven't gotten it by now, you should. It's that good. And do so. And be with us as we continue to release podcasts. Now we have 3 new podcasts for you this week. You can listen to them quickly. If you put Thom Rainer on 1 1/4, 1.5 speed, I sound normal. So just like a normal person. So just go and listen to those podcasts. They're quick, to the point, singular, focused, and I think you'll be blessed. Thank you, as always, for being a part of the Church Answers podcast. We will see you in the next episode. Hey, folks, this is a PS to our podcast. We got some exciting stuff that we want to offer you absolutely for free. Sam, when you think about predictive factors in a church's growth, if you take out demographics, what are some things that come to mind? Just 2. I mean, don't give me a list of 10. Just 2 or 3 things that come to mind on predictive growth of a church.
Well, evangelism and whether the church is doing it or not.
Bingo.
And then I will add, is it an ongoing evangelism emphasis?
Double bingo. Well. And maybe something about leadership and their commitment to that. So all of the above.
Evangelistic churches have evangelistic pastors. Is the staff, is the lead pastor doing the work themselves?
We have a free download for you, and it's actually a sheet that you can self-score. You answer 20 questions, anywhere from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And we come back and we predict what your growth rate is going to be for the next year in worship attendance. It's not a perfect tool, but it's a good tool. There's a link to that for the attendance predictor. Look in the show notes. You'll absolutely love it. That's cool. We'll see you soon.